welcome to today's edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're covering the Igloo 2024 Night Vision Low Light Match in Thurmont, Maryland. Alright, we're starting off with my friend Matt's run for two reasons. The first one being shooting night vision in the night vision match. This is the actual darkness that the match started in. Matter of fact, Matt even disconnected his night vision and just used the sights on the rifle. And it's unavoidable. The range restrictions they had in place was that the last shot can only be fired at 10 p.m. and they wanted to make sure they had time to fit everything in, so they got to moving right away as soon as the sun disappeared behind the skyline and instead of true darkness. So about the first half of my squad got to shoot it like this in daylight. Now, after he's taken care of the rifle targets, which consisted of some plates at the far end of the bay on each side and some paper targets fairly up close, then you retrieved your pistol or ammo from the back of the vehicle and engaged with your pistol. Now, Matt here just gotten this light right before the match that had a laser on it, and you can see he's deactivated it because the quick lasering instructions didn't quite get it matched up to where it needed to be. So he just decided to forego the laser and trust his dot. And that seemed to work out a lot better for him right here. Yeah, the vehicle was set up in such a way that you couldn't engage all the targets from one thing. You had to cross through that vehicle at some point, no matter what you tried. Alright, well, it gotten a little bit darker during my run, but the Sonics there shows it's still pretty bright. As you can see, very good brightness from my NVGs, but you can't see the target I'm shooting at, and that's the problem. It's a monochromatic world when you're shooting NVGs, and color coding the targets between rifle and pistol doesn't work so well with NVGs. Works great with white light. I aimed where the target should be. I actually got some hits, rather proud of myself. It's just I could not find them. The targets were very small. I think they were like ranging between 6 and 4 inch plates at about 40 to 50 meters away. In many cases, the dot on my laser was the same size or larger than the plate, so made for really difficult engagement on an item that was hard to see to start with. Here I took along extra ammo I didn't need, even though it cost me seconds, because I watched two shooters go before me who each ran out of ammo on the pistol thing and had to run back and get more. So figured the few extra seconds to have and not need was better than need and not have. I went white light with the pistol when I needed to. There was enough ambient light I didn't need to all the time. And I just used my dominant eye that didn't have the nod over it to make the engagements. There was no way to engage the entire array from one spot, so you had to crow through that van no matter what. I thought going over the top would save me, and it did for the rifle, but I still had to go through for the pistol. Okay, now we're moving over to stage one, which was our second stage of the match. Off to a fast start. You're seated in the truck, your handgun was in the glove box, and you had to get 3 pistol targets. Before you left your engagement area, you had to engage 5 plates that were hidden behind these barrels. And you had to be careful you didn't go out of the engagement area because you had to do a pretty hefty lean there to get that last target. Then move glacially slow over to this position here and get 5 knockdown targets. It was nice at a night match that they had reactive targets. It makes life a bit better. Then you abandoned your pistol, climbed into the back of the truck, and you had 2 engagements that you had to make of arrays that were at the far end of the bays. They were just like the array over there on stage 4. Very difficult to see. When you could get your laser onto the target, it basically covered the whole target, and it was very hard to tell if you get the hits. Unfortunately, the ROs did not have their own night vision, so everybody was pretty much depending on sound to gauge whether hits were made or not. Suboptimal situation, but it's what you got to deal with. Over here on the second ray, they had a VTAC by the back of the truck there. I used that to brace off of, and I just kept going until I got my hits, and then ran right up to par. Alright, over to stage 2, where you started off with your rifle, hitting again the same array of 4 targets, 2 banks of 4. It's very small, 6 and 4 inch plates, hanging at about 40 to 50 meters away. Went ahead and made the rifle engagements here as best I can. And like I said, the laser dot is and sometimes a little bit larger than the target, but the hits came. Once the hits came, you dashed forward to your next shooting box. We had barrels on either side of you, and there were 4 paper targets you had to hit. And just went ahead and pumped them. This one I decided to pump a lot of bullets in. And you had to be careful of your angle, obviously. Then you ditched your rifle and dashed forward to the pistol array, of which you had a hostage target you had to hit and flip, then a Texas Star to engage. And then once this Texas Star was done, you had a dueling tree where you had to flip everything from the left to the right. And right here, the cold killed the NVG camera, so we switched back to the psionic. Sorry about that. The cold is really hard on the brain exploder batteries. And picked that one up. It was a pretty good stage. Okay, now it's on to Matt's run. We got the camera working for this one. And he's starting off here. Now, I should have mentioned earlier, this is Matt's first time using a laser on his rifle. So I think he's done pretty good here. Again, the targets that are down there at the end of the bay are really hard to see. And the dot is bigger than the target. So that gives you an idea from this perspective of how big of the target you're engaging, how tough that engagement is. Anyways, he works his way through the array here, and as he does, he gets his hits, or at least makes as many engagements as he can. And then moves on. Now, just like I did when you get up to this box here, you have 4 paper targets you have to engage from inside the box. It's a pretty generous shooting box, so you can maneuver as necessary around the barrels to get clean views of your target. You have to have 2 hits to neutralize or 1 in the alpha to neutralize. Then over to the pistol engagement, starting off with the hostage target. This light he's using, as you can see, much brighter than my TLR1, and believe it or not, this is just a $60 Amazon special, and we'll be doing a review of that in another video. And here the buzzer just gets him before he gets all those plates off. Alright, on to stage 3, which was our final stage for the night. This is in my run. You had to engage a massive array of pistol targets from the back seat of this vehicle, and you had single plates you had to knock down, you had a mini-mo target where you had to flip the plates inboard, and you had a dueling tree that you had to knock all 6 plates from left to right. I attacked this one with a 21 round mag in my SIG P320, and glad I did, because yeah, I needed every round of it. When I get my final hit here, the slide will lock back, and then I go ahead and ditch my pistol in the bucket, and then I come around here, and then I get bit real hard right here because I get target fixation. And as I look down range, I have 2 arrays, the exact 2 small arrays that we've had on every stage that I have to engage to get 4 hits on each one. Very hard to see. Targets are, as I've been saying all along, you know, same size or smaller than the dot that's the laser's thrown out. But you notice there's these paper cardboard targets down there, and I completely ignored them. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing my best to get hits, but I'm launching just 2-3 rounds at each target just to try to collect as many hits as I can, and then I just call it at a certain point because I don't feel like wasting any more time and ammunition. Alright, now it's Matt's turn to shoot this stage. Now he's going to start out from the car. He's got PVS 7, so he's got a little bit of a disadvantage with that roof the way it is. He's had to put his NVGs in a half-mast position to be able to actually maneuver inside the car, because when they're folded up, they were banging the roof. So he's making his engagements. Now, he was actually able to get a little use out of his laser on this one. The manual that came with this laser said 0 to the red dot at 21 feet, and when we did the stage walkthrough, he did a quick pace count, said, that's pretty close. So he gave it a try, and for the most part, it worked out pretty good for him. And as you can see, this small little light from Amazon is throwing out way more brilliance than my 14 or 15-year-old TLR1. I guess that's just chalked up to the advance of technology. And you can see there, using the laser, he does get the hits.
Two on the tree.
Eventually. It's not zeroed perfect, but it's darn close. This is just a lesson learned that while he did exactly what the manual told him to do, you've got to go verify that against your actual impacts on paper. And he didn't really have a chance to do that before the competition here. And he had to collect that last plate there real quick. And unfortunately, the buzzer gets him.